The Galactic Council had always dismissed humanity as the weakest link in their alliance. Commander Zephyra of the Kethamori Empire often wondered why these fragile bipeds had even been granted membership. Their bones broke easily, their skin tore at the slightest pressure, and their lifespan was laughably short compared to other species. Yet here they were, standing in the Grand Assembly Hall of Nexus Prime, representing Earth with the same dignity as species that could crush mountains with their bare hands. Captain Sarah Chen stood at barely 5 feet tall among towering alien delegates, her human delegation looking like children among giants. The Vorthak representatives stretched 12 feet high with exoskeletons that could deflect plasma rounds. The crystalline Zarketh beings could manipulate matter at the molecular level. Even the aquatic Nephtar possessed psychic abilities that could bend space-time itself. "The Devourer approaches," announced High Arbiter Kolvex, his voice resonating through universal translators. Long-range sensors confirm a Class 3 extinction entity, larger than any previously encountered. It has already consumed the outer rim systems. A holographic projection materialized in the center of the hall, showing a writhing mass of dark energy stretching across light years. The Devourer wasn't just a ship or creature. It was a living void that consumed planets, stars, and entire solar systems growing stronger with each meal. Commander Zephyra stepped forward, her towering form casting shadows over the human delegation. "The Kethamori fleet stands ready. Our ships are powered by stellar cores and equipped with reality-warping weaponry. We shall lead the charge." Nods of approval rippled through the assembly. The Kethamori were indeed the strongest military force in known space. Their warriors bred for conquest across 1,000 worlds. Captain Chen raised her hand, a gesture so small it was almost missed among the grand posturing of alien delegates. "With respect, Commander Zephyra, we'd like to volunteer for the Vanguard." Silence fell over the assembly, broken only by what could only be described as alien laughter. The sound came in various forms, clicking mandibles, harmonic vibrations, pulsing bioluminescence, but the meaning was universal. Amusement at human audacity. "Captain Chen," Zephyra's voice carried barely concealed condescension, "your species constructs ships from metal alloys and relies on chemical propulsion. What could you possibly contribute against an entity that devours stars?" Chen's jaw tightened, but her voice remained steady. "We contribute what we've always contributed, what others can't." 3 days later, the combined armada faced the Devourer at the edge of the Kepler system. Thousands of ships formed battle lines, the massive Kethamori dreadnoughts like floating cities, Zarketh crystal formations that bent light around them, and Nephtar bioships that pulsed with psychic energy. Among them, the human fleet looked pitiful, small metal boxes compared to the cosmic weaponry surrounding them. The battle began with a devastating display of alien might. Reality-warping cannons tore holes in space-time, only to watch helplessly as the Devourer absorbed the energy. Stellar core weapons that could crack planets merely fed the entity's hunger. Psychic assaults that could drive entire populations insane were consumed like appetizers. Commander Zephyra watched in horror as her flagship's most powerful weapon, a singularity bomb capable of creating black holes, was not just deflected but metabolized by the Devourer. The entity grew visibly larger, its tendrils reaching out to engulf more ships. "All vessels retreat formation Beta," Zephyra commanded, but her voice carried the weight of defeat. In 30 years of conquest, she had never encountered anything that could simply eat her weapons. That's when Captain Chen's voice cut through the comm channels. "All human vessels, execute Protocol Omega. It's been an honor." Zephyra watched in confusion as the small human ships broke formation, not retreating but accelerating directly toward the Devourer's core. She was about to order them back when her science officer's panicked voice filled the bridge. "Commander, the humans, their ships are going critical. They're overloading their reactors." What happened next defied every strategic doctrine Zephyra had studied. Instead of firing weapons the Devourer could absorb, the humans turned themselves into weapons it couldn't. Ship after ship dove into the entity's mass, their nuclear reactors reaching critical overload at the moment of impact. But these weren't random suicide runs. Each detonation was precisely timed and positioned, creating a cascading chain reaction within the Devourer's energy matrix. The humans had calculated exactly where to strike, using their primitive computers to map the entity's internal structure during its feeding process. Captain Chen's ship was the last to go. As she piloted her vessel toward the Devourer's core, her final transmission reached every ship in the fleet. We may be the weakest individually, but we stand together when it matters most. That's what makes us human. The final explosion lit up the cosmos like a newborn star. When the brilliant light faded, the Devourer was gone. Not destroyed by superior firepower, but unraveled from within by a species that understood something the mighty alien empires had forgotten. Sometimes the greatest strength isn't in the power of your weapons, but in the courage to sacrifice everything for others. In the aftermath, as the surviving fleet regrouped, Commander Zephyra stared at the empty space where 300 human ships had been. Her warrior culture valued strength above all else, but she was beginning to understand that strength came in forms her people had never considered. The Galactic Council would remember this day not as the victory of the strongest species, but as the moment when the weakest among them showed what true strength meant. And from that day forward, whenever the galaxy faced extinction, the first question asked wasn't, "Who has the most powerful weapons?" but "Are there any humans willing to stand in the gap?" Because sometimes, when giants fall, it takes those who know they're small to stand the tallest of all.